Hi, everybody. You're probably wondering, how is it that I could be smiling after that? And the answer is, we get our answers. We ask questions, and when we ask questions, we get our answers. And this is the answer. Well, the coach told his team before Cincinnati it was make or break, it was do or die. It was the end of the world as we know it, and we don't feel fine. We have to do something now, or else there's no tomorrow. We have to die in an effort, whatever it takes. And the team went out and played hard. And then after that, the message is forgotten and dropped, and the players do this. And I think that it's really very simple that the team isn't very good. All right. They're not motivated for sure. There's talent on the team. They're not motivated. And when they get kicked in the teeth early, there's a panic reaction, a flinch, if you will, by the head coach, where they abandon their run game and they never level things off. And so they end up giving up 45 points. We've seen it over and over again. The defense has no heart whatsoever. They weren't even trying. John Johnson, the third, one touchdown he gave up to Henry in the end zone. Honest to God, he didn't cover. I don't know what he was doing. I'm sitting here watching players on one play where Keenum was already in the game and got sacked. Wyatt Teller was helping a player up off the ground while the play was still alive. Njoku dropped one in the end zone that he caught because he held the ball out for the guy to hit it out of his hands. And then the other one that hit him in the chest. So he's regressed and he can't catch the ball anymore. This is all inconsistency. That's what it is. And, everybody, okay? The answer to your question is everybody, all right? I think once the running game is taken away, that Baker Mayfield, with the current crop of wide receivers and the offensive scheme, cannot get the job done. All right, there's nobody open. There's nobody open downfield for Case Keenum either. And he's a veteran and he knows the offense inside out, and there's nobody open. The only thing that gets receivers open in this game is our running game. It offsets everything and it forces them, the defenses, to kind of show their hand. But no, you're going to ask me about, well, what's the future of Baker? And I'm going to say you're a fucking retard. Nobody showed up. Baker, Jesus Christ, Allah. None of them would be able to win. Tom Brady wouldn't win. LeBron James wouldn't win.
Tom,
Nobody would win.
Tom Brady has 2 picks today.
Yeah. I mean, the
And the echo is
reality
back.
is that when you play a game like this, Baker made the first dreaded mistake by throwing a ball someplace. God only knows why he would throw the ball into Njoku with two guys right there. Who knows? What kind of a read is that? I've got no idea. So right off the bat, that starts things downhill after a good first drive that was run oriented. You find an open man in the end zone. Njoku lets them slap the ball out of his hands, but we do get the catch in the end zone by Hooper. And then the defense proceeds to do what it's done off and on all year, which is just not to try. We go back into weird defensive coverages. We drop off the line of scrimmage. I mean, the tendencies were so strong on film that Belichick kept running the same plays over and over, or Josh McDaniels, over and over and over. The reverse, the draw play, the screen pass. Over and over and over. And the Browns made no adjustment. It was almost like, okay, you figured us out. Same thing on offense. All right, quarterback's going to get sacked now. Wyatt Teller, I better help somebody up. I got my money. That's what it looked like to me. A gutless performance by the coaches, the players, and that includes everybody on the field. It's sad to watch Jarvis Landry catch a 3-yard pass and then fall to the ground in a fetal position. He shouldn't even be playing. I mean, there's no chance. And the team didn't come out mentally prepared. They're looking ahead to another game. I don't know what they're doing. And, what's on him is what's on every player on the team. They didn't get the job done from top to bottom. Do I think Baker Mayfield's the answer? The answer to what? He is the gap between deep in the playoffs and 3-14. And that's where a lot of you want to be back again because you are self-loathing fans. I don't want to go back to 3-14 because I'm not going to do post-game shows with 3-14 teams. I used to do post-game shows for the Cavaliers, and I said, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit, man. It's like...
1-31 was hard enough.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. If you want to sit around and wait, if you think that helps right around the corner, and that's what the thing that makes Browns fans more retarded than Steelers fans, is they think redemption is right around the corner. Just get rid of Baker Mayfield and everything will be fine. And you don't realize we didn't have a quarterback for the better part of 30 years. You can't be that stupid, folks. You're Pittsburgh stupid. It's unreal. I mean, that's not even the bigger question. The bigger question is why we have a defensive coordinator who cannot inspire his players to play on a weekly basis, why the coverages are all wrong, why they're not making and breaking on balls if they are in press coverage. What is the reason men are just floating downfield and down the middle of the field wide open? It's that same shit all over again. And that's exactly right, Krembley. We never tried to run the ball once we fell behind, and that's a panic reaction. It's like, it's happening again. Get it off me. Get it off me. It's happening again. Can't have that. But as a fan, my belief is that you can only go so long, so far. I'm not willing to go back to the days of 3-14 and the parade of Tyrod Taylors. I'm not ready to do that. As a fan, I want them to spend the money on Baker because at least we can win some games. That's what I'm down to. Seriously. The choice is yours. If you want to say, get rid of Baker and let him go, fine. You watch the 3-14 team. I ain't going to do it. I'm off. I'm done. Because if you play around 500 ball and you have a couple lucky breaks, you could technically make the playoffs, and that's better than just going home at the end of the year. It's kind of like being an NBA team that makes the playoffs but doesn't win the championship, but at least they give you some moments of excitement and reason for watching. 3-14 team doesn't do that. And I think this is what it comes down to, Ron. So would I. It would keep me around. It would keep me relevant.
The Lions have actually tied the Steelers at 16 at the end of regulation.
No, the Steelers tied the Lions. The Lions were ahead 16-13. The Steelers kicked a field goal, and they took turns inept-wise. Jared Goff had thrown the ball for 40 yards the whole game. 40. Honest to God. Steelers will win because they always do. They always will. Because no matter who's missing, they at least do something that makes sense, even if they can't execute it and can't do it. I don't know what our deal is. I just know that we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Now I know that in my heart, and I'm good with it. I'm happy to be a 500 team. It's really what we were last year, except we had a couple of games we won 45-37 or whatever. Yeah. And those games could have gone the other way. We're a 500 team. That's what we are. I'll take it. I'll take it. At least if I sit down in front of my television set, I'm not sure what's going to happen. You want to bring Hugh Jackson back? You go right ahead. You go for it. You want to bring Brandon Whedon back? You go right ahead. You want to bring Deshaun Kaiser back? You go right ahead. I'm not going to do it. I'd rather be like the Bengals were with Andy Dalton. That's what I say. And you're going to say, well, look what happened to the Bengals. They got rid of Andy Dalton, and look, they got Joe Burrow. And they lost to us 41-16, you dumb fuck. They're no further along than we are. It's hard to build a winning team when you keep changing pieces. And especially major pieces. You're signing up your offensive line for long-term contracts, and you're telling me you want to put an inexperienced quarterback back there? Doesn't make any sense. Sorry. I totally disagree with you and will continue to disagree with you over and over again. And I suggest you become a Lions fan. You like losing. You're self-loathing. You like to lose. Me, I like to watch a game where I don't know the outcome before I watch it. I like watching the young Cleveland Cavaliers come back from 19 down against Boston. And they played the worst first half, the worst first quarter I've ever seen in my life, the worst first half that you could imagine. And they came back and they won. And they won on the defensive end with effort and heart. Both teams were on the second night of back-to-backs. And the Cavs reached in deeper. New England just reached in deeper and came out and clobbered us. And we had nothing in reserve to reach into because obviously whatever it was we had, we exhausted it the week before. That's what I can tell you. There's no stats for me to repeat to you in this game. And no, I'm not going to tell you that Baker Mayfield is a big-time playoff quarterback. I'm not going to tell you that. And I'm not going to tell you that Stefanski's offense can survive. I'm not going to tell you that either because it's dependent upon them running the football. And right now, we don't have any wide receivers. It's obvious. We have none. Anthony Schwartz can't play the position. Jarvis Landry is on the walking IR. Donovan Peoples-Jones is not a number one receiver. And Matt Hooper can't seem to wander beyond 5 yards of the line of scrimmage in this offensive scheme. And you can say, well, Matt Hooper sucks. He didn't suck until he came here. He's being misused. The tight end concept is, we can run the ball. There's no downfield action with the tight ends, except once in a blue moon to Njoku, who drops the ball. And again, we don't have what we need to be a balanced football team. And y'all want to judge the quarterback about it, but the fact is any quarterback will get clobbered. Because if the head coach just decides to abandon the running game when it's 14-7 and go into an empty backfield set, the die is cast. The outcome is predetermined. You've guaranteed the ultimate self-fulfilling prophecy. You're going to get blown out. That's what I said at halftime. So I'm done watching this. I know for a fact what's going to happen now because I've been watching it for decades. Le quit. Seen it all the time. You can't tell me they were trying. You can't tell me they were focused. They were getting pushed around like little boys. I've seen it all the time. So tell me, Tori, the Steelers fumbled. Did they recover it and then pick it up and go 70 yards for a touchdown, or did they lose the fumble? And where on the field did they fumble it? Because to be very honest with you, I don't think Detroit can close out a game except against us next week. Okay? The Browns are going to be so literally distraught. They're not going to be able to do nothing.
Okay, I have the playing question. Mason Rudolph passed Deontay Johnson to the right for a 39-yard gain, tackled by Mark Gilbert. Deontay Johnson fumbled. Amani Oru recovered the fumble and returned for 3 yards.
And now the Lions have the ball near midfield, according to Ron. Thank you for something that we really don't care about. No, I do. I mean, I'm being flip. Not
Brian's
Flip
got
Wilson.
an echo, by the way. I don't know.
Say what?
Brian's got an echo. Or I can hear an echo.
Can you hear an echo
the
on
echo
yourself?
is back.
For
Yes.
the callers.
So you can hear it on yourself too.
Yeah. And I hear when Brian talks, I hear Brian echoing, but not you.
Not anymore, you don't.
Hey.
I don't know why that
Yep,
in the hell
Ron.
keeps resetting itself, but I've had enough of that. That's weird. It keeps defaulting to something
Oh, jeez.
that it shouldn't be. Thank you for the heads up.
Yep.
You know.
Oh, God. Jared Goff, next play, Goff, short pass over the middle, intercepted by Minka Fitzpatrick.
See?
Steelers get it right back.
See? Yeah. Well, I mean, but they will beat us. I guarantee it. I predict it now. The Browns will lose to the Lions. The Browns are done. The looks on their faces, the shaking heads, the body language, the slumped profiles, they're finished. They're done. The coach called it 2 weeks ago. They're done. He knows that his team is prone to letting down. That's the reason why Kevin Stefanski went through his, God, I don't care if you get your legs blown off and you end up needing 2 artificial legs. We got to do this. We got to get the win. Because he obviously has to yell fire to get these people's attention. This was an embarrassment to the city of Cleveland, an embarrassment to professional football. And to make it worse, when CBS cut into the game and said, and we're going to take you off to a game that's competitive.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that says it all. Not competitive.
And the Saints came back and lost by 2.
Yeah, not enough. Yeah,
Oh, there was a penalty. There was a penalty on Devin Bush on that interception, so it's actually Lions ball.
Oh, okay. There should have been a one on Kate Bush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
George Bush.
Yeah, Barbara Bush. She's the only woman who had the wrong kind of pearl necklace. So, yeah. I can't be concerned with professionals making millions of dollars who don't care. I can't be concerned. If you're not ready to play, you're not ready to play. If all you can do is get the scripted plays down and then whatever comes after that, you just let somebody. I mean, can you imagine giving up 3 90-yard drives in one game?
Oh, in the 99 and a half yard drive?
Yeah.
On that second
No
touchdown,
pride. There was no pride. There was no effort. There was no nothing. Just nothing. And that's and the fact is that they could have come out in the second half and played harder, but they came out and they played less hard. They're done. They're finished. And they're not worth my respect or your respect. Not worth it. Sorry. We thought we had more.
Stefanski updating Baker Mayfield could have came back in the game, but I just decided to bench him. So they'll trot Baker out again next week, and he'll get hurt again next week.
Did he use the word bench him?
Oh, he said could have, but I chose to keep him on the sideline after the injury.
Yes. All right. Which is the right thing to do. I mean, the Hill thing, Troy Hill, probably a stinger. But are you trying to tell me that if your body goes completely limp and paralyzed on a field, there ain't enough money in the fucking world that you would pay me to get back out on a football field? Retire. Get out while you can still walk. The thing about playing football, and it's something that I could never do because it's the same reason I could never be in the military, is that you have to be willing to sacrifice your life for people who don't give a fuck about you. That's the reason. I'll be honest.
And that pesky weight problem.
They could run that off me. They did. It worked with Dewey Oxberger. Stripes reference. I just could you could never put me in a position where you say, okay, you're expendable. Yeah, you're never going to walk again. You're going to die at 57. You're going to get multiple sclerosis. You're going to, whatever the hell it is. You're going to get ALS. You're going to die. But
speaking of players dying of head injuries, or Huff just died from the Giants at the age of 87. He played in the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah, and Sam Huff played at a time when he was probably crippled up, but it wasn't nearly as bad as what it became post. By the time Mike Webster and his ordeal was exposed, 1980 begins and things really get worse. And or more publicized, one or the other. But again, to play the game of football, it is a heartless game. It is a game that is composed of owners who have no souls and coaches who can't have the kind of sympathy, or empathy is a better word, empathy for players. They have to go out and win. And if somebody's down on the field like that, strapped to a gurney and is barely moving their hand, that is shaking, he could even give it the Garrett Gutley thumbs up coming off the field. But you got to turn your head the other way and play the next down. But I'll tell you something. If your heart isn't in it, you shouldn't be playing it. The Browns' heart, for whatever reason, was not in it.
Lions had 4th and 6 from the Steelers' 30. Went for the field goal, then he pushed it wide right.
What?
Pushed the field goal, game-winning field goal wide right.
Yeah. Detroit can't win.
Steelers
except against us.
1st and 10 with 4 minutes left on their own 42-yard line.
It's really unbelievable. What? How far was the field goal attempt?
It was a 45-yard-ish.
Who's their kicker?
Some kid named Ryan Santoso. Never heard of him.
Long.
Nope.
Yeah. Baker cannot be blamed for this level of dysfunction as an entire team. No way the defense should give up over 40 points or even 30 against New England. That is correct. You don't point to one person. It is systemic. And the thing is, when the defense just drops off the face of the earth and the coaching staff just says, okay, we're going to run passing plays from now on, and I hope to God that your shoulder doesn't get hurt, and then his knee gets messed up. The fact of the matter is, nobody's going to win in that situation. It takes everybody, all these things, pistons, firing at once. The team hasn't been consistently sharp all season long. They're not getting better. They're not getting worse. They're just vacillating between being good and being terrible. So, that's that. I'm, it's just, and should he be shut down for the rest of the season? Well, the fact of the matter is that it's, again, a game without empathy. Yes, Baker will go back out and play until he's totally crippled. And then the self-loathing fans here who show up just to talk shit, they'll be satisfied. They'll be satisfied because he'll be broken. The Browns won't sign him to an extension. And then they'll have to get Tyrod Taylor again.
We're barely.
Yeah, and then the next kid gets to come in and get his head fucking torn off his shoulders.
Yes.
We're barely.
And, this is my favorite post here. Don't you love it when people, they call it? Sorry, Tori, you lose. Just for playing, here's a copy of the home game.
Return by Raymond. And
what are we getting sound here for?
Oh, I was switching over to watch the end of the Lions Steelers. That I watched. Sorry, I muted it now. My bad. That's the Steelers had to punt, and so it's Lions ball on their own 30 with 2 minutes left.
Why is Tori saying this? Is he just? Are we missing something?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, Fantasy Island with Ricardo Montalban.
I'm sorry.
Goff just immediately got sacked for a 13-yard loss.
Jesus.
Who did?
Jared Goff.
Oh, well, what else is new with that? And with that, Torrey Graber, you're in. I've thrown you on to the bench. You're gone. You're a schmuck. That's what I say. Total schmuck. And so you go ahead and see how long you're in the penalty box for. You can keep trying to get back on, which I know attention whores, that's what they like. You keep trying there, Bucky. This whole thing is absolutely crazy. I mean, the NFL this year, you can go 1 week from having a great division win and then going to this. But this is something you don't recover from. This is something that you just, and if you do recover, what you're doing is you're recovering off it enough to be a 500 football team. That's it. Oh, thank you, not Joe Askew. He's a new kicker they just signed this week. God almighty. God almighty. But he'll be warmed up by the time he gets to us.
Right.
Yeah. The fact is, nobody's the answer. We all want to look for some kind of a god. And I just want to keep reminding people, Troy Aikman, do you remember what his record was? 1-15 his first year? Remember that?
Actually, no. He was 0-13 or 14 that season. Steve Walsh ended up getting the lone win for the Cowboys.
Yeah, then they got people and things got better. I mean, but, Terry Bradshaw, do you remember his first year in Pittsburgh?
No, I wasn't born yet.
yeah. But what I'm saying is that, if you would have looked at Steve Young, you would have wanted to get rid of Steve Young too. But you surround him with good players and with a concept that he can play in, and you have something. To start all over from scratch a quarterback, it may be inevitable because of physical reasons. Or maybe Baker will just be fed up with it and say, I'll play one more year and then just get me the hell out of Cleveland. That's what's been happening for decades with players. Just get me the hell out of Cleveland.
Right.
Jim Plunkett was all world when he came out of Stanford, and when it was drafted by the Patriots, he did absolutely diddly shit. Then he goes to the resurrects with the Raiders and wins a Super Bowl.
That's right.
Actually, I think he has 2 rings with this.
I think Steve Young is a more dramatic example, going from a horrible team in Tampa to a world-class team in San Francisco. No one player can get it done by themselves. I think everybody wants Baker to succeed except for the self-loathing fans who just want it to be a continued merry-go-round of losing. And they get a kick out of, gaslighting. But there's only so much in fans. There's a new generation coming up. I'm 64 years old, and I don't need another go round of this. I thought that you bring Baker Mayfield in, he at least has character. I mean, which is more than we can say for the other quarterbacks who have lost in Cleveland and flat out had a series of those 1-15, 0-16, 2-14 kinds of seasons. Baker never let it get to that point. But, teams average. What can I tell you? It's an average team. The players are wounded. And what guys we should be having out there to play, they can't play. And Nick Chubb wasn't out there. And Kareem Hunt, that takes away a huge part of what you can do. And don't tell me about Dearness Johnson. He's a very good backup running back. But he's the one play where he skirted through, but Chubb would have still been running. And he gets tripped up from behind. He doesn't have acceleration. The Browns rely on that running game and the short passing game to running backs for chunk plays. Couldn't have that. Yeah. So that's why he's a schmuck, Greg. He's an attention whore. And if he does come back in, he's just going to get thrown out for good.
Again, yeah.
Just keep messing with him, I love the play-by-play in the chat room is funny as hell. It's like ball snapped over Mason Rudolph's head, Goff sacked, and it's like this is just futility. Nobody's gonna win the game. It's gonna end up a tie.
There's 1:30 left.
Who has the ball?
Pittsburgh.
Where?
Where the hell is it? They're on a fucking highlight replay. I think it's at the 35 of their own side of the field. So they gotta go 60 yards in 1:30 to get a field goal.
Well, I mean, they will because their kicker will make it. I'm calling it now that the Lions lose, the Steelers kick the winning field goal, and we'll be able to say, well, the Steelers won because they always do. The thing I would really, okay, Rick.
And Fryermuth keeps catching passes for you, Tony.
Yeah, all right.
Oh,
here you go, Rick. We have to do this like this because he's dead. Picture yourself in a stadium with a running football team that refuses to run. You've taken a left turn on the wrong road. You're in the Stefanski zone. Yeah. I don't understand any of it.
We're going to have to do a parody of that now.
No, you can. I don't have to do anything. Oh, my God. And that's just...
way to the Stefanski zone.
Could you, can you imagine Van Pelt? He's never going to get a chance. That son of a bitch is never going to get a chance. And that, no matter how bad it gets.
He will when he gets his own team.
Yeah. How much Stefanski blames himself, it doesn't matter. Oh, God. I'm just trying to fast forward these comments. And that's really the sad part of it. Yeah. But when a game that has no interest to anybody in the world is more interesting than our game. And, I'm just fucking around here. There's nothing for me to say. Honest to God, it's not like, and tomorrow there's not going to be any more to say. I'm talking about the Cavaliers. Cavaliers, man, are wonderful to watch. They're entertaining. They actually, I mean, Evan Mobley is actually good. Darius Garland is good. He's better than Darius Rucker.
Yeah. Ricky Rubio is playing like a fucking Hall of Famer.
It's the defense that's keeping him in. The Cavaliers are doing this without Markkanen, without Love, without Sexton. And we have to watch Isaac Okoro throw up line drives that clank off the rim, but they're winning with defense. I called it first. Robe Mac. Oh, you are now a Frenchman, no? Oh, God, I love these guys.
Steelers have it. 50 seconds left.
It'd be funnier if Robe Mac used the symbol instead of his name.
Yeah, and everybody knows that, Brett. I mean, it's like, okay, you made a mistake. You're down 14-7. And, what Stefanski is, I don't want the quarterback to lose his confidence. I'm going to put him in an empty backfield. What are these bodies flying at me? I have a broken shoulder. Hello, big fly. Detroit called a second timeout.
How nice of the Cardinals to spot the goddamn Carolina Panthers 14 points.
Yeah, well, they don't have Hopkins or Colt or they're Murray, so they're
and Darnold is nowhere to be found. They basically said, they're acting as if he's gone for the year. It's like, please, Jesus, let him be gone for the year.
Yeah, they started PJ Walker, and their touchdowns were scored by Cam Newton.
How about that?
Yeah.
Brett's telling it like it is. Character issues become magnified, and this is going to be something that is going to be an ugly week of media criticism, and the players can either get their heads together and try to put together a professional effort on the field, or they will lose to the Lions. And if that happens, then they will go into, as Mike Tyson would say, into oblivion. That'll be the end. That'll be it. Then you've ended the season. My favorite player, Jetty Osman. You know what's interesting about Jetty? If he doesn't dribble the ball, he's fine. I mean, it's like when he can spot up and maybe hit a three, right? He can maybe drive to the basket, although he's out of control, and maybe get to the basket. But if he has to dribble for any length of time, a little 12-year-old girl could pick his pocket. Honest to God. Human turnover machine. Yeah. Jetty Osman. But
here we go.
What are we going to, Tony?
Oh shit. Oh.
Well, tell us. Don't go.
Okay, so I was a little shocked. So the Steelers got the ball, had the ball, like 3rd and 10 from their own 48. They got a 13-yard pass to Deontay Johnson, who stepped out of bounds with the 15 seconds left, and they ran a quick out to get a few more yards for the field goal kicker. And Freiermuth fumbles the ball to the Lions. Game ends in a tie.
Are you kidding me?
No.
No!
Yep, game is going to end in a fucking tie.
But you know that by getting a tie, it's a win for the Steelers?
Yeah.
Wow. What a game.
Yeah. Yep. The Lions player just punched the ball right out, and you thought they were close to the sidelines with the momentum that the ball would just roll out of bounds, but it like literally died because the field's completely soft because it's piss pouring rain. So the ball hit the ground and stopped instantly, and you could just see like no. Fryermuth just standing there looking at the fucking ball, like, please go out of bounds. Please go out of bounds.
Yeah, it's fun. Kremley Q, Joe Tate, right? I remember
A
when
tie at the Big Rotten Tomato.
we we were playing the Washington Bullets, and back when they were the Bullets, the Miracle in Richfield season. That's what this is a reference to. You know, Bingo made the one shot earlier in the. It was maybe in Game 3. But the end of the of Game 5 was just a tremendously, Phil Chenier had the shot from the corner, and it's like Chenier right up, and he just no good, put back up, no good, put back up, no good. It's like
Oh,
and Avalanche have won the game. And he starts sounding like Johnny Most almost,
Another
Oh, my God.
former Browns kicker just made a field goal. Greg Joseph.
Oh, that's an accident.
Ooh, 3-0 out in LA right now.
The whole AFC North is taking turns laying down, and there is some truth to that.
Is this the
Big
Bengals
Worker
bye
is
week?
pointing out that maybe we spoke too soon about this division. Yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody wants to grab the bull by the balls,
And Tampax Bay lost to the Washington football team.
Tom
You
Brady
won't hear about
shit.
that. You're not going to hear about that, It sure is, Greg. It's totally final to me.
Where's Torrey? I thought the Lions won. What the fuck's going on?
Where's Duck Devlin when you need him?
Quack, quack, quack.
And this is what we can do. And I guess that's what bothers me when the people who are self-loathing fans or fake fans or bandwagon fans, they want to criticize the quarterback. You got to look at a team and say, are the players who are on the field good? And are they NFL caliber players? And, you start taking a look at, your defense, if you're the Cleveland Browns, and you say, why is it that we're giving up 40 plus points in games? Why are we doing this? Is it because the scheme is wrong? Is it about the players? What is it that's wrong about this? But the wide receivers, we know there isn't a guy who can break a big play in the bunch. Not one. And any quarterback who steps in is going to have the same thing. They showed clearly when Case Keenum was in the game, and it was when, Coach Bill was running the score up, and I applaud him for doing it. Thank you, because it was deserved. They circled all the receivers who are just not open. But what do you do? And so if that was the field you're looking at, self-loathing Browns fans who want Baker Mayfield gone, if that's the field you're looking at, well, then why don't you take the fucking hit? Ain't nobody open downfield. The play design sucks. Nobody's open. Nobody's going to hit anybody. No quarterback will throw the ball in a situation like that unless it's far out of bounds. Nobody open. That's just not hard to understand. So he's back. The attention whore is back.
Lions.
Oh, Lord Almighty. Wait, I'm getting a cramp, Tony. I'm getting a cramp in my hand. Oh, God. I didn't mean to hit that.
Oh.
I didn't mean to hit that button again, Tori. God, I'm sorry. Rick, good one. Mason Rudolph's MVP campaign. He's the answer, you know. He's the answer. Oh, my God. We made Mac Jones look better than mac and cheese, man. And that looks mighty good to me sometimes.
Yeah, he looked like fucking Tom Brady in his prime.
Oh, and a question for those same self-loathing Browns fans. How many times did you hear Mac Jones yelling "kill, kill, kill" at the line of scrimmage and audibilizing into a play that was actually successful? And how many times do you actually hear Baker Mayfield allowed to fucking do that? You don't. So fuck off.
Yeah.
That's just an experienced, good NFL coach trusting his young quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there is, you know, Keith, there is nobody open. It doesn't matter who's back there. Make that stop. Make that stop.
It's you can clear once Chubb is gone, and Dearness Johnson's a nice player, but once Chubb is gone, the Browns offense is so easy to fucking game plan around.
Wasn't that a song? Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Once Chubb is gone?
No. After the Chubb is gone. Okay. I'm not going to be doing Philip Bailey impersonations. I promise you that. Yeah, bitter truth. You're absolutely right. They just manned up and dared us to throw. Their defensive backs are better than the wide receivers. And that's what teams have been doing to us. They don't get separation. So that's that. That's not hard. Not hard to figure out. If you're a defensive coordinator, it's like, well, let them throw. It can't hurt us. Oh, we have another one here. So you think Baker is our guy? You know what I think? I think you're an illegal alien. It's no fun being an illegal alien. Yeah. Hello, Paramjot. Could you tell me a good place where I can get a good vindaloo? Okay, we'll move on from him.
Oh, so sorry, my friend. The guru is now closed. You must be moving along now. Bye-bye.
You know, and that would be a fair record for this team, don't you think? Yeah. I mean, but would you be crushed? You wouldn't be crushed like you were during 1-31, where you it's like, oh, my Browns paraphernalia, holy shit, I got to put this in a closet and lock it away. I can't wear this in public. People will throw eggs at me. I'd rather be 9-8 than to be 1-31. We knew what they were coming into the game. Their defensive backs were highly rated. And we knew that we had to run the ball to succeed. And that was the problem, that there was nobody but, and I asked the question on the Friday show, Dearness Johnson can only carry the ball so many times. So what are you going to do on the other ones? And the answer turned out to be going to the empty backfield. Throw the ball. And it doesn't work that way. It can't work inside out like that. This team is set up the other way. I mean, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt being out is like Pigpen Rapelessberger being out for the Steelers. You saw what happened. They can't do nothing. That's what the Browns are. Without their top running backs out on the field, they can't do nothing. They're impotent. The passing game cannot be depended on because they do not have the proper components to have a successful passing game. Those components are a scheme that gets people open downfield, but primarily wide receivers who have health, escapability, speed, run good patterns, and have chemistry with the quarterback. And then 3, a quarterback who doesn't inflict self-damage by making boneheaded throws. But the order I put it in is better receivers, all right? And I would rather have somebody call the plays besides Stefanski. We got to do something to create a little bit more originality. I mean, to keep drilling the same system into people's heads, it just doesn't get people open. And you can see you can't rely on your running game solely. You cannot be one-dimensional and make it through a 17-game schedule. It's impossible. It's not possible. You know, and this will be the kind of take that you get. But he was playing a defense that wasn't trying. You know, my limp penis is better than Trevor Lawrence. What do you want me to tell you? Mac Jones did a nice job. I take nothing away from the Patriots, who came prepared to play. I never will badmouth the opposition unless referees help and assist and that kind of thing. This was just an ass whipping from start to finish.
Jones,
so I got nothing bad to say. Mac Jones is fine.
Yeah, Jones actually gets to play on a complete team, unlike Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, so at least you have a sense of humor about it, Paramjot Sandhu. I would recommend the Rogan Josh. It is so good. God help me. God help me.
But not the tikka masala. That's strictly an English meal.
Yeah.
But not the tikka masala. That's strictly an English meal.
Yeah. But I want more than anything else is I want a corned beef done with the vindaloo. See, I make fun of my own people too, Paramjot. Is that how you say it? Paramjot. That must be a common name.
I don't know.
That's probably like George in India.
Yeah.
Probably a common name.
We can just call him Perry for short.
That's true. Yeah. Upstate picker. We needed to lose this game. This game shows the true inconsistency of the offense that especially both coaches, Woods and... No, he's Mr. Penn. I was wrong. He's not from Princeton. He's from Penn. Second-rate Ivy League school, but still an Ivy League school.
New Jersey, Pennsylvania. What's the difference?
I never say you need to lose, but I think that this is definitely the definition of who the team is. Yeah, and that is correct. The big dick of truth. Yeah. Yeah, right. I mean, this is who we are. You own up. And you either do something about it or you just keep going on the way you're going on. 1 week at a time, good, 1 week terrible. You know, why won't Stefanski let Mayfield audibilize? He's a control freak. He's a, Mr. Neat, everything in place. He's going to go down with the ship. Yeah, I have no idea.
He thinks his plays are going to work every single time, regardless of what the defense tries to do.
I bring this up every so often. The original Star Trek series, Admiral Decker. Please, if you have an opportunity to take in the original Star Trek series,
Commodore Decker.
Commodore Decker. You're right. That's right. Commodore Decker. Yeah, that's who Kevin Stefanski is. He gonna go down with the shit. Crazy motherfucker. What does it hurt to try to change things up? The answer is, well, it will shine a bad light on him.
Yeah, he. For those who don't know that episode, he beams his they run into the doomsday device first, and he keeps attacking it, and the ship gets beat to shit. He beams all of his people down to the little planetoids. Well, the doomsday machine is designed to eat planets, so he basically killed all of his people.
Yeah, and so he becomes hellbent. It becomes kind of like the old man in the sea, right? It becomes one man's quest to destroy the doomsday machine.
Jonah and the whale.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, and I know, Keith. I mean, I'm just pointing out for people who will jump on any explanation that they can to make this just a quarterback situation. You know, yeah, and again, Stefanski will generically say it's his fault and then do the same thing the next week. It's just foolishness. You know, I'm really not racist. Not at all. When you come into my show and you start talking shit, I make fun of you. Now, I could go further, but why? You are who you are. That's hard enough. My goodness. And anyway, I'm jovial about the loss in one respect because it just points out the truth. I said the head coach, I have a grip on this.
And he's a bed shitter. He's a bed shitter.
Yeah, and well, his answer to this is insufficient. You know, one thing I want to talk about before I get the hell out of here. You know, I got a new mesh Wi-Fi network here.
Oh.
Roxanne has got a job that's going to allow her to work from home, and
Sweet.
There was no good internet connectivity. Real simple Google Wi-Fi setup. And here I am on the show. I put it in last night. It took all of 15 minutes to put in 3 nodes around the house. It works pretty damn good. And I'm saying, hey, I've had absolutely no problems with the show today whatsoever. So, hey, something works. The Browns didn't today, but something works in this house.
Fiber optic internet, or is it?
No, what it is, a mesh network is, and without being too technical, it plugs directly into a router or a modem router combination, and it plugs into the wall. The one main node, which is their little discs, if you look up Google Wi-Fi, they're little discs. You plug it directly into the router, and then you plug it into the wall. It will get the settings from that router, and then it will push the signal out to these other disks that are nodes, and you space them around your house. And the idea is, if you have to go through walls, if you have longer spaces, and your Wi-Fi is, just coming out of one modem router or just one router that's in a stationary place, and you run out of signal, this will boost up your signal throughout the house. So what it did is it took this one area, which I had a 2-node setup, that everything came here, and I had like 350 Mbps download. And what I've done is with this system, I have about 250 now here, and there's 150 to 200 all the way in the back of the house. In the middle of the house, there's 250. It made it smooth all over the house. And the thing is, it has one network name, and it seamlessly goes from one thing to another. That's why they call it a mesh network. It's really kind of a cool thing.
That's cool. Oh.
Yeah. So, there was a Higgins sighting. I think the ball bounced off his helmet with 2 men draped all over him. That was all I saw about that. I can't understand an empty backfield situation with slow receivers who obviously can't get a clean break from the line, off the line of scrimmage, because that's what it's all about. It's really getting off the line in press coverage, and these receivers can't do it. And you have a quarterback back there with injuries. I mean, it's the worst possible scenario. It's a suicide mission, and it just doesn't work. And it's a dead giveaway that you're going to pass the ball. It's just, There's not, it was so funny. I saw that Todd Grantham, former Cleveland Browns guy, was fired by the University of Florida.
Yep.
The defensive coordinator. Yeah. It's like all these guys who were parts of the Browns losing decades, they lose everywhere they go. It's because they're losers. And when I see weakness, Stefanski can still pull this together if he gets help. He needs a real offensive coordinator. And he needs the front office to draft wide receivers. He really needs that. I'm not going to fire the head coach. That's stupid. That's just dumb as, getting rid of Baker. That's just stupid. But you got to have a plan. You got to get the wide receivers in. You need an offensive coordinator. And from the defensive side of the ball, you're going to need a defensive coordinator too, because it's just not working. And I don't know. So that's what I know. It ain't a hell of a lot, and I know it's not here to make you feel better. But I appreciate everybody supporting the program, and I'm glad that you enjoy watching the program, and I'm just trying to keep the Browns relevant. I just don't want to go back to being irrelevant 3-14 and becoming like the Detroit Lions. I just don't want that to happen because it eats up my Sundays, and it's no fun to watch. There's no, if you know that there's no chance of winning. I would watch the Cavalier games the last several years with the volume turned down.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I'd be talking, and I'd look at the screen, see if they were down by 20 yet. That's the way this felt today. It wasn't like I was getting angry because I never thought there was at any moment that there was a chance that the Browns could even win the game. So why get upset about that?
Not after the interception.
You just knew where it was going.
Right.
And Stephen, NFL has a lot of upsets. The Browns cannot make the playoffs. They've got 5 losses. It's over with. And Big Lurker, thank you for showing up. Hey, I'll be here next week. I ain't going to quit until the Browns throw in the towel. The Browns throw in the towel with Baker Mayfield, I quit. Okay? I'll go with Baker wherever Baker goes. And I'm not even a big Baker Mayfield fan. It's just better than what the alternative would be. Because if you've been a fan for any period of time, you'd know how bad it can get. Hey, and I'm glad you made it back in before I threw you out again, Tori. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. It's a cat and mouse game.
Our little glutton for punishment.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning into the post-game show. I appreciate all your support. We'll be back again tomorrow to talk some Cleveland Cavaliers on Moohead Radio at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hang in there. And everybody enjoy what's left of your Sunday and have a good next week. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
See you in the Facebook Messenger, Key.